Alrighty, guys. So we're gonna go over this NFL slate as a first look. So if you are from the YouTube side of things, come over to DFS Sports Reddit. I make posts on here pretty much every day. NBA season is coming up as well. That's my best sport. It'll get a lot of traction, but here are my posts. Shuck_dash. You can ask me whatever you want. I will always answer your questions. If you ever need to get a hold of me too, you can message me on Reddit. As you can see, people message me all the time. Always respond to you guys. And if you ever need to get a hold of me and you don't have Reddit, you can get a hold of me on Twitter at ToryLangley1992. I will always respond to you guys as well. So let's do another look back at my lineups from the week. I know you guys on Reddit have seen them, but want to show the guys on YouTube. But first, just skip forward if you're from Reddit, if you've already seen. But I just want to shout out everyone that absolutely smashed yesterday. Oh, that's MLB. Sorry. Yeah, I just want to shout out everyone that smashed. So Days had a really another good night. Yeti absolutely smashed on Yahoo and Draftkings. $12 into $900. Once again, Yeti 3.6K, absolutely insane. 3.6K from $70, just insane. Good win here for Jack. Um, just another insane win. $24 into $300. So yeah, I, I really think I'm providing value. So what you get by joining Discord is you get ownership projections, you'll get in-depth videos, you'll get cash plays, you'll get GPP plays, you'll get a player core, in-depth videos on the slate, top plays section, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, check that out if you are interested. If not, message me if you ever need help with anything. I will always respond to you. If you need help on a pivot, if you want a cash game core, if you want a GPP core, like a, I can't give a full core because that's what the Discord's for. But if you want like my opinion on cash games, GPPs, etc., just message me. Feel free to message me. I'll always respond to you guys. So yeah. So let's take a look back on my lineups from the week. So this was my GPP lineup from the first week. We um we had massive days on Sunday as well. We were very high on the Miami and Baltimore game. Everyone stacked the Tua or Lamar. We all stacked Tua or Lamar, double stacking and bring back. So everyone had phenomenal days. Absolutely love to see there. Cash games went very, very well as well. Um, we went to Amon-Ra St. Brown about 30 minutes before lock. We all pivoted to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and that was a very, very massive pivot. And we all pivoted off Trey Lance. Unfortunately, he did get injured, but yeah, really, really good day on Sunday. And then yesterday, another very, very good day. We were on Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen, and we thought Miles Sanders was the clear best running back play on the slate. That worked out massively. Stephon Diggs was an auto lock. Nobody was fading Stephon Diggs. And then Adam Thielen was my second favorite wide receiver on the slate. And then Dallas Goedert was my favorite tight end on the slate. And then Bills D, Eagles D were my two favorite defenses on the slate. So I'm gonna do this a little bit differently, guys. I'm gonna go team by team for this. We'll save the more in-depth one for Friday night, where I'll go into more details about cash and GPPs, leverage plays, etc., etc. So this will just be a quick first look going team by team. So I don't want any interest in this Baltimore stack this week. Got a tough matchup here against New England. After Lamar Jackson had an absolute ceiling game, he's going to be over-owned in a tough matchup. So I don't really have any interest here. He is viable for cash games, but I do prefer Jalen Hurts for the discount. The running back situation is just disgusting. I want none of it. And if I'm gonna double stack, I'm gonna go with Bateman and Mark Andrews, and then bring it back with Jacoby Myers. That would be the best thing in my opinion if you are going to go that route. But I really don't want any interest in this double stack this week, especially with how over-owned it's going to be at elevated price tags. So no interest in GPPs there for me, but don't hate it if you go there. So New England, I have no interest in this team at all. Now I will say Stevenson got a lot more work last week than he did before. I think he's viable for GPPs, but I definitely don't think we have to do it. And then I kind of like Jacoby Myers a lot, especially for cash games. I mean, Mac Miller. Did I just say? Did I say Mac Miller? Jones. Mac Jones is looking to Jacoby Myers' way a ton. We know he's going to have a high floor. He doesn't have a high ceiling because he's not going to get into the end zone too often, so he's not really a GPP play for me. But for cash games at $5,000, I like Jacoby Myers quite a bit. I just think that floor is very, very safe for him, and I think we're going to get him at a discounted price here this week. I think that price tag is definitely going to go up. So I'm going to target anyone from the wide receivers. It's definitely going to be Jacoby Myers. They're splitting snaps at tight end, so I don't really think I'm going to go there. As you guys see, I wrote notes up here because as I was researching the slate. So KC always going to be a high-powered offense. The Colts just look bad. I mean, my only worry here, if you're going to like someone on the opposite side of things, like if you're going to like a JT, is they're just going to script him out of this game because I don't see the Colts being able to really keep this close at all, especially after last week. But I will say this: don't be scared to play Patrick Mahomes doubles if you think the game blows out. If the game blows out, that means Patrick Mahomes is probably putting up, 3 or 4 touchdowns, and then those receivers are still going to get there with him. So don't be scared of a blowout. Still definitely looks good. Mahomes stacks always go under owned in GPPs. So yeah, definitely do like my home stacks. Juju Smith-Schuster has been very underwhelming this season, but he is playing about 90% of the snaps, so that's good to see. McCole Hardman, more of your low floor, high ceiling play. I think Juju's a little safer. If you want ceiling, I would definitely target Hardman, but we're gonna have to monitor that injury. And then Travis Kelsey, I preach this in the Discord. If you want to pay up to be different, pay up at tight end. I think Travis Kelsey here is a good spot at 7.9K to be different this week in GPPs. Nobody's going to want to pay this price tag for Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelsey. So for GPPs, I really kind of like this double stack here. And then if you're going to bring it back with someone, we're going to have to monitor the injury news with Michael Pittman Jr. So we could have some value there. But I really like that double stack for GPPs this week. Onto the Indianapolis side of things. So no interest in stacking Matt Ryan. Jonathan Taylor's really hard to get to this week. I think he could be scripted out of this game, but I don't know, man. Only a GPP play in my eyes. Probably wouldn't get there in cash games. So we're gonna have to monitor the Michael Pittman Jr. news. If he is out, I think Austin Dolan is a solid pump play. Matt Ryan seems like a target him a lot. Paris Campbell played about 100% of the snaps. He didn't have a reception. Like him as a bounce back candidate, especially if Pittman's out. And then if Pittman plays 6.9K, I think he's a pretty good play in both formats. Tight ends, not going to get to anyone. They are really, really splitting out the snaps there for the tight ends, I do believe. Yeah, they are. So, not much I like there for tight end. Oh God, Colts fuck. Sorry, ignore some of my notes, please, 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 please. So, Saints at Carolina, no interest really. No interest really. Even if Kamara's out, Ingram's viable, but I'm pretty sure they split snaps last week. Where? Let me look. Where's Mark Ingram? Where is Mark Ingram? Yeah, he only played 25 snaps. Not something you want to see, really, so no interest there. Wide receiver, I think Michael Thomas is their safest option. Olave had a very good game last week on 13 targets. I definitely don't think that's sustainable. I don't think 3 targets is it. I don't think 13 targets is it. I think he's going to live in that like 4 to 7 range, which fine option at 4,500, but I definitely do prefer Michael Thomas. And then if you want the ceiling play, Jarvis Landry has had a ton of air yards for the first 2 weeks. So I don't hate that, but favorite play on the slate, or not the slate, but on this team once again is Juwan Johnson, who I think is a very good tight end punt. He played on, I exited that, but he basically played 100% of the snaps, and he ran a route on like I want to say 20 plus. So at 2.9K, I think you're getting a very good value play here at tight end. with a high floor. So I like Juwan Johnson quite a bit in both formats, especially cash games. I think he looks pretty good. Can Baker May can Baker Mayfield just please bench this guy? This guy has caused me so much pain, especially week one. This guy, um, just bench him, please bench him. Can Sam Darnold come back, please? Please. I have no interest in this guy. Just give the ball to CMC. Stop running the ball, Baker Mayfield. You should not have 6 attempts. You should not. You should not. So CMC I like once again. So he was absolutely mega busting in the first half. In the fourth quarter, he had like 3 fantasy points. You know what they did? They gave the ball to CMC in the fourth quarter, and he ended with 20 fantasy points. So will they do that this week? Who knows? I have no idea. So just to it's so crazy. I mean, he's still viable in cash games, but Baker Mayfield has just killed CMC. So for GPPs, I like him a lot. He's probably going to be low owned, and if we get that same usage from the fourth quarter, he's absolutely probably going to crush. Wish the match was better, but yeah, just I like him a lot for GPPs. GJ Moore, my favorite target as a wide receiver. Don't really like anyone else. Shi Smith played a ton, I do believe. He played. Where's Shi Smith? He played 41 snaps, running around 34 in the slot. So I definitely don't hate it. I think there are better pump plays, but he is the min price, so definitely viable. So Houston at Chicago. So don't have interest in stacking, but I think Dameon Pierce is actually a solid running back play this week at the price of 5K. He outsnapped Burkhead for played 39 snaps. Where's Burkhead? Burkhead played 22. Ran around on 16 passes. So I don't hate Dameon Pierce this week, but he's definitely viable for cash games as well. I don't know if we'll have to do it, but we'll see. But definitely viable. And you guys know how I feel about Brandon Cooks. He's always going to get peppered with targets. So at 5,800, I think that price tag's just too cheap, and I definitely do like him for cash games as well. I'm going to speed this up. I feel like I'm taking too long. So Chicago, I want no interest in Justin Fields. They're just not throwing the ball. I want zero interest in the wide receivers. They are not throwing the ball. I want zero interest in Komet. They are not throwing the ball. But one of my favorite running back plays on the slate here is David Montgomery at 5.9K, who I think is going to be very popular. Played a ton. They were down. They still ran him into the ground. Going to be involved in the passing game. Now he has a good matchup against Houston. Absolutely love David Montgomery this week, and I think he looks like probably one of your cash game running backs in my opinion. Buffalo. So Josh Allen's just good at football. I don't have to go over why I like him each week. I really don't. So yeah, love Josh Allen. I think Singletary's fine. He played a lot more in the first half, but once the game got a little out of hand, he didn't play much at all in the fourth quarter. So I think Singletary's fine. Not my favorite running back play, but definitely fine. Stephon Diggs is really good. Absolutely love him in cash games and tournaments. If Gabe Davis is out, even better. And then if Gabe Davis is out in the Discord, I told everyone that Jake Kumaro was going to be the guy that was going to play on the outside. So viable punt if Gabe Davis is out. Surprisingly, Jamison Crowder and Isaiah McKenzie didn't gain any snaps from Gabe Davis being out. So those two are just there for me. They don't really get a boost with Gabe Davis out. So really just Diggs and Kumaro for me if Gabe Davis is out. Dawson Knox, fine play, but not getting the targets as he was last year. He's more of a red zone guy. So yeah. Same thing with the Lamar stacks. I'm probably off Tua stacks in GPPs. I just think they're going to be way too overowned. It's not the best spot against Buffalo. So, yeah. Kind of off them for GPPs. Running back, no interest in anyone. Wide receiver, I think Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle both look like very good plays here once again. And let me explain. So, when you have Tyreek Hill, who can just run past everyone, and needs double coverage, that leaves Jalen Waddle in man-to-man and one-on-one coverage. So this offense is always just going to be good. So I think both look like very good plays here once again. So like on both, but they're definitely going to be overowned. Jasicki, wish he was cheaper, but fine play. Detroit at Minnesota. So we're gonna have to monitor. I think Jared Goff is actually firmly in play this week. I think he's in play for cash games as well. I think this game has shootout potential. He's looked good. We're gonna have to monitor the DeAndre Swift news on if he's going to be limited or not. If he isn't, fine play. If he is, don't want to get there. But Amon-Ra St. Brown has been my hero so far this season. I told everyone thought that with Hawkinson and Swift back, he wasn't going to get the same usage. I said he was. Same usage as last year. Absolutely love him this week, even at 7.2K. If you're scared to pay that price for him, I think that's a mistake. Safety blanket for Jared Goff. He has that ceiling as well. So Amon-Ra, the Sun God, looks great here once again. Probably my favorite play. Probably not going to get to any of the else. And I think Hawkinson at 4.2K looks like a pretty safe tight end option in my opinion. Let's exit that. So it's not Monday, so maybe Kirk Cousins has a pretty good game here. Shootout potential. Pretty sure the over/under is pretty high on this one. Not going to get there in GPPs, but fine with it. I think Dalvin Cook, 7.9K, looks like a pretty good bounce back candidate. Let me explain. So, tough defense here, tough defense here. Now he gets Detroit in a much better spot. He's going to be involved in the passing game. He's going to be involved on the ground. So, I like Dalvin Cook a lot for GPPs here as a bounce back candidate. You could definitely get there in maybe not, but maybe French cash game play. I think we're paying down at running back and cash this week, but I like Dalvin Cook quite a bit here. And if he's going to be low owned, I'm going to be all over him after 2 dud weeks. Justin Jefferson, 9.3K, fine with it. You know, best wide receiver in him, Diggs, Cup, in my opinion, best wide receivers in football. So yeah, JD looks good as a one-off. Thielen at 5.9K. Wish he was a little bit cheaper. He didn't really get targeted last game. He had zero targets going into the fourth quarter, and then got peppered with targets because they knew JD was getting locked up. I don't know why they didn't do that earlier, but I think he's a little bit overpriced. And then Irv Smith Jr., to everyone's surprise, after I played him here and got 0 fantasy points, he played not a ton, but more than half the snaps. Ran around on pretty much every snap that he was out there. So yeah, I like him quite a bit at 3.1K. It's close between him or Juwan, but I think he's one of the better plays at tight end if you're going to punt, in my opinion, and certainly viable for cash games. So yeah, all right, I need to speed this up. Where am I? We're gonna go backwards. So Atlanta at Seattle. I think Marcus Mariota's fine cash game play. Not gonna get there in tournaments. London, fine option, but not gonna jump out of my way to play him. Kyle Pitts, just the ceiling isn't there right now. Only a GPP play. Seattle, I don't really have any interest in anyone. Probably gonna cross this game off. Rams at Arizona. Absolutely love Matthew Stafford this week. These price tags on the Rams are just too cheap. Game has shootout potential as well, so love Stafford. Henderson's usage wasn't there last week. Him and Cam Akers basically split the snaps. Not going to get to any of the running backs, but Cooper Kupp at 9.9K. If you're playing cash games, probably just put him in your lineup. He's really good at football. Going to get 12 plus targets each week. Going to be targeted in the red zone a bunch. So love Cooper Kupp. Love these stacks in general, and I like Allen Robinson here this week once again. I knew people were overreacting after game one. So yeah, like these doubles a lot, and I think Higby is a very safe option, but wish he was a little bit cheaper. Might prefer Goddard, but fine option, in my opinion. Colin Murray, excuse me. Let's get rid of these real quick. Ba-ba-ba-ba. So I like Kyler a lot for GPPs as well. I like stacking this game. This is kind of my favorite game to target Last week it was Lamar and Tua. This might be my favorite game this week. So Kyler Murray has been running a lot this year, but I think this is a different situation in this game. I think the Rams are going to put a lot of pressure on Kyler Murray, making him have to scramble a lot more. So I think that rushing upside is more there this week. So like Kyler quite a bit. Um, we're gonna have to monitor the Connor news. We'll take a wait and see approach there. But yeah, assuming Rondell Moore is out, it's back to Greg Dortch. Just playing a ton in the slot. Had a good game last week. I don't think he's only going to get 4 targets again, but I don't know if he's going to get into the end zone again. I think it'll even out, but Dortch once again looks like a very good play, assuming Rondell Moore is out. AJ Green is absolute dust. Can't really get to him. And then Marquise Brown at 6K. Um, definitely do like. And then what were the I need to see if Zach Ertz played more last week. That's pretty important. Where is he? 73 of the 87 snaps. Okay, so if Zach Ertz is going to be playing that much, Um, yeah, I don't think a lot of people are going to be on him either. So, like him with doubles with Kyler quite a bit if he's going to be playing about 85% of the snaps. And he's not going to really be blocking, right? He's going to be running a ton of routes. So, I love Zach Ertz here for tournaments, especially if nobody is going to play him. Where are we? Where's the Green Bay game? Okay, so I don't like it for GPPs, but you can do it. I think paying up for quarterback is definitely viable here, but hear me out here. So they're relying on Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon a ton. We know Tampa Bay is an extremely tough defense to run on. So I think what's going to happen here is Aaron Rodgers is just going to have to throw the ball a lot more. I don't like it for GPPs, but it's viable for what I'm explaining. I think they're just going to have to throw the ball a lot more against Tampa Bay. And then Lazard, if you can get to him, I think he's a little bit overpriced. And then they're kind of splitting the snaps here with the wide receivers. So um, double stacking him sucks, but I think it's viable. I think it's interesting too. Um, yeah, they're just splitting snaps at tight end, so not really gonna go there. I don't really have interest in Tom Brady sacks. Didn't have any interest last week. I don't like it at all. Tough spot as well. Leonard Fournette, I do like a lot. I mean, his usage right now is absolutely insane. He's playing about 95% of the snaps. If Tom Brady wants him out there, he is going to be out there. So I think Leonard Fournette at 6.5K is one of my favorite running back plays on the slate right now. We're going to have to monitor the Tampa Bay questionable news. We could have some value here with Perriman, who could potentially be a pretty good value play and would be viable for cash games. This is just a wait and see approach with all this, and then probably not going to get to Cam Brate. Where are we? Jacksonville at the Chargers. So kind of like Tua this week. Kind of do. Now, it's not the best matchup, but Tua doubles are just easy. Not going to get to other running backs, but Tua doubles are just easy. So Kirk is getting peppered with targets, getting a ton of usage. Zay Jones is getting a ton of usage as well. He kind of got scripted out last game because they were down, like, or they were up 24 to nothing. So I kind of do like this double stack a lot for GPPs. And then you can bring it back with whoever you want. I think a lot of people are going to especially stay away from that if Justin Herbert is out. Evan Ingram, I think, is a decent tight end play as well. Going to be running a ton of routes, sub 4K, fine option. This is going to be a wait and see approach. If Herbert's in, love him. Eckler's playing about 50% of the snaps. Hard for me to get there at 8K, but if Keenan Allen's out, Mike Williams at 6.K makes for a very good wide receiver option. And then Joshua Palmer at sub 5K, I think, makes for a very good wide receiver option as well. Viable for cash games as well. Gerald Everett, don't hate it, don't love it, but playing a ton. Let's take a look at his snaps. Yeah, 50 of the 75 possible snaps. Ran around on 35, and that's what you really want to see from your tight end. So fine with Everett. I think Goddard's in that same price range, which I definitely do prefer Goddard. But yeah, on to this Philly side. So, absolutely love Jalen Hurts. Don't care if the price went up. Don't care he's going to be popular. I'll try to get there in cash games if I can. They're throwing the ball a lot more. His rushing attempts are still there, getting 10 plus a game while throwing the ball 30 plus times. Absolutely love Jalen Hurts this week. I think Miles Sanders at 5.5K makes for a pretty good running back play as well. Uses there involved in the passing game as well. They're not at home, but I like the spot against Washington viable for cash games as well. I think Sanders at 5.5K is definitely one of my favorite pay down options at running back. Wide receiver. So Washington is god awful against the slot. I think they're giving up the most fantasy points to slot receivers in football. So A.J. Brown played a lot of slot on Thursday night. Devontae Smith played a decent amount of slot or some slot on Thursday night. Quez Watkins played some slot, but he'll be more involved on deep routes. So I kind of like this Philly double stack with these guys playing a lot of slot as well and playing on the outside too. So Smith, one of my favorite wide receiver options for Thursday night. Kind of like him again here, and I like AJ Brown at 7.3K, especially if he's going to play some slot like he did last week. So like this Philly double a lot, and I think Dallas Goedert, one of the safest tight end plays on the board, sub 5K, always going to be involved, always going to be a red zone target as well. Love this Philly stack this week, and I don't hate Carson Wentz stacks either. I know a lot of my friends have been on Carson Wentz stacks, and I don't hate it. I really don't. The wide receivers are going to be low owned outside Curtis Samuel. I think Curtis Samuel at 5.1K is going to be very, very popular, but for a good reason. Good reason. And he's going to be a pretty popular play in cash games. So, like Curtis Samuel for cash, maybe an interesting fade in GPPs, but the volume is definitely there. Love McLaurin this week for GPPs. Always going to be sub 5% owned, but the ceiling is there with him. I think his usage is going to go up as well. How many snaps did Logan Thomas play? I feel like he played a lot. 54 of the 74 snaps. So, yeah, I think Logan Thomas is a good option as well. Last two games here. So, Derek Carr, 5.9K. What was his price last week? 6.2K. Don't love it, don't hate it. Running backs, don't love it. Don't. I think Josh Jacobs, good pay down option, but I don't love it, don't hate it. Devontae Adams, love as a bounce back here. I think a lot of people are going to fade. Love it as a bounce back. Darren Waller, we know the upside he has, but I definitely do prefer Mark Andrews for, I think he's $100 more. Tennessee, no interest. Running back, no interest. Derrick Henry could be scripted out of the game. Wide receiver, no interest. Tight end, no interest. Bengals at Jets. Where are the Bengals? What is this? So Joe Burrow double stacks have been very popular the first 2 weeks. I think ownership is definitely going to go down. I think this is the spot that you want to be on Joe Burrow doubles. I think T. Higgins right now at 6.1K looks like one of the best point per dollar wide receiver plays on the slate. That doesn't mean I like Jamar Chase. I just prefer T. Higgins. Then I think Hayden Hurst 3.9K makes for a very safe option at tight end. But if ownership's going to be down on these Joe Burrow doubles, I'm going to be all over it. And then absolutely love Mixon, 7.6K. I think he should be above 8K in my opinion with the use that he's getting. Like the spot against the New York Jets as well. Joe Flacco is the best quarterback in the league. Don't have to go over anything else, but I have no interest. I think Michael Carter, 5.2K. Got a decent bit of work last week. Might be a fringe cash play, might be cash viable. I'm going to have to go over it later. I haven't really done much research this late. I'm just doing this as a first look. We're going to have to see though. Might be fringe, might be fine. I don't understand this Garrett Wilson usage. I don't know if it's going to stay the same. Might be overowned because of what he's done the past 2 weeks. If I had to pick one wide receiver, it definitely would be Elijah Moore. And then if Uzoma's out, I think Conklin 3.8K, a very, very safe tight end option, which you guys have been hearing me say with most of the tight ends. So yeah, if I had to go over what stands out to me the most, I think this LA Rams stack, Arizona stack stands out the most to me. I think Joe Burrow, if he's going to be low owned, stands out a lot to me. Love these Patrick Mahomes stacks. For cash games, I think right now you want to be paying down at running back. I think like a D-Munt, Miles Sanders start with like a Cooper Cup looks very, very good for cash games with like a Jawan Johnson. I think that might be a very, very good start for cash games. But I'm gonna have to. This is just. I haven't done any research. This is my first time looking at the pricing. So yeah. Talk to you guys later.